Hello, Stacey.
Hello, Jason.
Welcome to this crazy life.
You're laughing at me.
I'm not laughing at you.
Yeah, you are.
I'm laughing at this crazy life that we're
It is.
living.
It is a crazy life, and you're sort of laughing because I told you what my husband and I have decided to do with our bodies
That's right.
after we're done with them.
That's because our guest today was telling us what his daughter is going to do.
Right.
And we'll come back to that at some point. I don't know if we should start there.
No, we shouldn't start there. But this has been a crazy life. What's going on the planet right now?
It's been a crazy last couple hours.
It has been. It has been a crazy couple hours. I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. Sometimes you just have to roll your eyes, and for me, just keep my mouth shut. That's the hardest thing for me is to keep
Just keeping the mouth shut?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I go out on Twitter and look at things, and like I write out these comments, and then delete.
Yeah.
They come back. I don't ever post them.
How many followers do you have on Twitter?
Oh, I don't know. I have many different accounts.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're one of those.
I do. I have one for that skier guy when I used to ski all the time.
Okay.
I would post
Okay.
and had people, Boston fans in the Red Sox Nation. So when I'm doing baseball, I pick up my old That Skier Guy account. And then like, I have Laughing Parrot, which is the one I've been on mostly now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got another one, Jaspin's. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have the White Knuckler. So
Yeah.
I'm out with my RV.
I'm a white knuckler now.
Yeah.
See?
The White Knuckler's because when you drive my old 78 RV,
Oh, that's
you that fancy steering, you're really
racket pinion.
knuckling it to hang on for dear life.
Yeah. Well, that is a bit crazy. That is a bit crazy, but I am excited to have Patrick here
very
today. And you've known Patrick for a long time. You guys have known each other for how long?
Yeah, well, as long as I've been married, because I met Patrick, he was running a race in La Jolla. He was a runner at the time. I don't know if he still does. We can get into that. But he was a friend of my wife's. They went to church together in high school, and he and his wife, he played piano, and she sang at my wedding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've known Patrick for a long time.
Right.
Very nice. How long have you been married now?
26 years.
26 years. Okay. That's a long marriage and a long friendship. That is so then you both ended up here. What is your story, Patrick, about how you ended up here in the Eastern Sierra?
My parents had their honeymoon up at Tamarack Lodge,
Really?
Twin Lakes, and so that's how
Were you at the honeymoon?
I was not.
No. Wow.
So then they began to vacation up in Mammoth, and that's how we got to know the area and fall in love with it. And then when I was in third grade, I was living down in Inglewood, and so in third grade we moved up here. My dad worked at Caltrans in downtown Los Angeles, got the transfer here, and then just so third grade on.
Okay, so you're a total local.
Right, and then I graduated from high school with Jason's wife Penny, and then went to Azusa Pacific University where I met my wife Greta.
Okay. Didn't one of your kids go to Azusa?
No.
Okay.
Both my kids went to Redlands.
Okay. Isn't that in the same area though? Kind of, sort of.
Azusa, Glendora, Pasadena.
Yeah.
Azusa's close.
It's close enough.
It's close enough. It's anything east of the 101 interchange down there. I'm not really too familiar with, but I know the 10 goes through there and all that kind of stuff. Well, that is awesome. And so how did you get, so Patrick, you do hospice work.
Correct.
Okay. And that is such a gracious, I don't want to say job, because it's not like a job. It's almost like a calling, to do hospice work. So I would like to know, and Jason may know all this already because you guys have known each other a long time, but I don't know that, and I don't think our viewers will know that. How did you get from 3-year-old here in Bishop, and you graduated, and you went to Azusa, and then you came back here to live, and then did you get into theology, or how did that all evolve?
Witchcraft, right?
Witchcraft.
That's theology.
Well, just an interesting thing. I was talking with a friend today, and his son, who's college aged, and asking him if he had a placement test in high school, career placement, and yeah, but I don't remember what I got. And I said, well, I do. And I said, my top choice for career was a funeral director.
Yours was?
Yes.
Wow.
And I was offended by that. I was like, what? That has nothing to do with who I am or what I'm interested in. But now that I'm in the hospice, I can see, I see those different traits that were in me then as well as now that would put me in that area, funeral director.
What would be the trades?
Yeah, this the traits of caring for people,
Compassion.
the calming, compassionate, quiet,
Listening.
and the listening. Yes, being able to do that. So, I think I could see that now, but I just
Well,
never
funeral
thought that.
director, it is
Yeah.
job security because none of us gets out of here alive.
This is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is, I would imagine it's a little bit different than hospice because at a funeral director, you interact with the families after the person has passed.
Right.
And hospice, you're with the families and the patient when they've been diagnosed as, well, this is going to be towards the end.
Right. Right.
So as hospice, who do you work with here in town?
So it's called Hospice of the Owens Valley.
Okay. And what is the geography? How?
Yeah, our area is from Lone Pine up to June Lake.
Okay. And where are the crux of your patients? In what areas?
Bishop and Big Pine mostly, and in the surrounding areas.
Okay.
Yeah, so Chalfont.
And so how does that work? So is your services coordinated? Does the family call you? Does the doctor or hospital call you? How does the whole thing become to where you're actually 100% on hospice care with this patient?
What is needed is that if your doctor has to say, has to write off saying, yes, this person is terminally ill, and then we take that's presented to hospice, our administrator, Ruby Allen, then she has to agree with that, and of course we have Dr. Leja on our board, who is our doctor that we refer to when we have our meetings as well. So there has to be that agreement, but it has to be where your doctor estimates that you have 6 months to live or less.
Wow.
I just had this conversation within the last 5 years, California became a compassionate care state with the Compassionate Care Act. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Did I?
yeah, the right to die. And I asked them, I said, I'm curious about if somebody's diagnosed with Alzheimer's, they can live for 10 years with Alzheimer's. So how does the Compassionate Care Act work with that? And she said the exact same thing, is you have to be diagnosed with a terminal illness and have at least 6 months, no more than 6 months to live before they will initiate that.
So you can live for 10 years with Alzheimer's before a terminal illness
Yes.
determine it.
Yes.
But you would never have your mind anymore
Yes.
to make that decision.
Body functions or anything. And it's, I think it's really a crush on the families, finances, and just the medical community.
The California Compassionate Act, have you guys experienced any of that here locally? People wanting the right to die?
Yes. So it's not my real expertise. That would be my administrator, but
no, yeah.
and, so we do have requests, and so I'm glad you bring that up, because I'm finding that many people think that hospice is about ending life, and I have to say, no. We're about living as best as we can till the end.
Right.
We are comfort care, palliative care, as opposed to, we're not trying to cure you, and that's for the hospital. But once you realize, and the patient says, you know what, the science can't do anything more for me, so I'm just going to have palliative care. I'm going to go home. I don't want to stay at the hospital all the time. I'm going home. I'm going to be comfortable there. I'm going to die there with my family, friends around me. And when medication is needed for pain, and then that's what I'm going to take. And so we're about, what is the phrase? Our motto is giving life to days when days cannot be added to life.
Oh, I love that. Giving life to days when days cannot be added to life.
Yes.
It's kind of like the Serenity Prayer, but in a different way.
Something like that. So we're trying to make your life as full as possible to the end. We can't help you and make your days any longer, but the days we have, we're going to help you be as comfortable as possible.
I want you to share the story that you told me. The guy wasn't an atheist or whatever, but you talked to him, and he said in the story, my beliefs aren't your beliefs.
Correct. Yeah.
Can you tell that story?
Sure. So
because that explains what you do.
Sure. I am a hospice chaplain. And then I also do bereavement and grief work. But as a hospice chaplain, and very quickly, yes, I have a Bible degree in religion, but I studied, my focus was on missiology, so different cultures. And so I really think that helps bring and knowing the different religions and different belief systems. So that helps me approach not from a singular angle, but understanding many angles.
Right.
So as a chaplain or spiritual advisor, so I go in, and as the story is, yes, one of my patients, I said, so tell me, what do you believe? What do you believe? Where do you think you'll go when you die? What's your religious belief? What's your background, your faith background? Oh, I don't think I believe what you believe. I said, well, it's not about what I believe. I'm here to help you process what you believe. Oh, well, in that case, and then he was able to share with me. So I've had people who believe in reincarnation, people who you might think of Native American traditional ideas there, Catholic, Protestant, atheist, and I had an atheist who said, well, so you're a chaplain, I'm an atheist. So do you want to hear why I believe in atheism? Absolutely. So I met with him, and he told me what he believed, and that was important to him to process his beliefs, and then if he says, well, what do you believe? Well, then I can share, but it's not my place to push my beliefs on anyone.
I love that.
It's for me, and as we talked, Stacey, on the phone, yes, it is so important to listen. And a lot of people say, well, Patrick, what do you say to people? And I said, I mostly listen. And when the time is right, I say something encouraging. But I do a lot of listening.
This episode of This Crazy Life is sponsored by Stacey Does Weddings. Creating a fun and legal wedding ceremonies is a specialty for wedding officiant Stacey Powells Leister. Her motto is any kind of wedding, any time of the day or night. Stacey will make sure that the culmination of all the wedding planning, the ceremony itself, will be a moment of grace and love, honoring the fact that the two people found each other in this crazy world we live in, falling deeply and madly in love. Be easy as saying, I do. Stacey will perform any ceremony, non-denominational, religious, non-secular, themed weddings, interfaith, hand fasting, and same-sex. Stacey also specializes in last-minute weddings. Call 661-433-9800 or visit her on the web at staceydoesweddings.com.
And tell me about the families. It must be, there's grief. Grief is a huge part of the hospice, the hospice care. And so how do you help people who are still alive, but are in the process of passing on with their grief, and then also with the grief of the families who are watching their loved one dwindle away, so to speak?
So my job as a chaplain, including the other roles at hospice, whether it's the nurse or medical social worker, sure, our primary care is for the patient, but we're also there for the families, the caregivers. It's not necessarily a family member, so whoever is the caregiver, and that's our focus. And we try to talk with them as well, listen to them and encourage them, help them through the process. And here's what you can expect. They're gonna slow down. They're gonna sleep more. They're going to eat less, and then they're gonna drink less, and then to nothing. In the end, they're not going to talk anymore. They may be in a deep sleep, whatever it is. It may, and here's the medications we can give to comfort them, calm them, help with pain. And so you just help them along with the process. And when this happens, we're not going to call 911. Remember, they have chosen to be on hospice, so they're planning on dying and exiting peacefully. And so when the time comes and it ends, and you take the time you want with your loved one when they die, and you can call, the mortuary when you're ready. And so if you want us to be there to help comfort you, then, let us know. It's things like that. And you're there for them. And then I'm there afterwards. Some people want that care. Some people want to be able to talk and share and cry and say how they're feeling. And other people, I'm good, and sometimes they are good in that they have a good network of family or friends or church community or whatever it is. But so I, for a year after the passing of our patients, so I can help them if they wish, with grief support. But then I also do a grief group for the community throughout the year. And this year I'll be doing 4 times this year, and I believe it's this January. I think it's on a Thursday,
21st or something.
26th or 27th, whatever that Thursday is of that week. I'll be starting at, I think it's 5:30. We meet out at the Jill Kinmont Booth School. They're really gracious out there to let us use the George Lozito Conference Center.
Is it hard for people to talk about their loved ones? I mean, there's probably, I would imagine, a lot of crying that goes on during these grief groups, especially when somebody has just lost, somebody recently. So what do you say to a family member in these grief groups when they've just lost somebody?
It's a big question there. A lot of well, one of the first things that I will tell the group or tell anyone is, hold on, here we're going for a ride here, and it is a roller coaster with your feelings and emotions. Your thoughts will go all over the place, and people will still be surprised. Well, how, it's a year later, I'm still grieving. Yes. Is that strange? No. Well, I put my husband's socks on, is that weird, Patrick? No, it's not weird. You're just trying to be close to them. And so what I try to encourage people is everybody is different. Everybody deals with grief differently. And you deal with grief differently from person to person, depending on your relationship, how you knew them, the whole situation. There's so many different facets to how grief works. And so I just encourage people, don't even judge yourself or allow other people to judge you. You're going to grieve. It's a process that you go through. It's not well, I did the 8-week course, and hopefully you should.
I'm cured.
Yes, you're cured. It's something that you take with you through your life.
Exactly.
But this helps you to grow in a healthy way. I'm sure you can wash it down with alcohol, but I highly discourage that, because you're not actually dealing with your grief.
No, you're drowning them.
Yeah, exactly. Have you found, and I've heard this, that the second year after the passing of a loved one is even harder than the first year?
Usually not, but often with, I think what I would see is with spouses, and that it's harder. And I talked to somebody fairly recently, and I said, do you think it's because you've been in a fog this last year and now we're on the second year and you've kind of come out of the fog and reality has hit you? Yes, she said.
I don't think I'd want to go on. I would consider that a terminal illness and would want California compassion.
You sound like my husband.
Well, I'm serious. My wife's my best friend. We like to spend all of our time together, and that's one of the things. I hate to be selfish, but I hope I go first.
And I do get that a lot. Many people will tell me, especially spouses, will say, it's not that I want to kill myself. I just don't want to be alive anymore.
Right.
Is that weird, Patrick? Not at all. No, that's how you feel. And I encourage people in our grief groups to be honest.
Yeah, be as transparent.
Be as transparent.
Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh said,
great scholar,
said, and I wrote this in my wedding vows to actually my husband. It said, if you live to be 100, I want to live to be 100 minus 1 day, so I never have to live without you.
I remember that.
Yeah. You do?
Yeah. I remember once you said that, I remember that.
Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah. So I have that on our wall, in our wall, because it is difficult to think about the person who is your best friend and who you've done all these things with, to not be there. To not be there anymore. And my husband jokingly said, I hope we both go together.
Notebook.
So I said,
remember notebook?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I said, so I'm not driving with you anywhere then. I said, if you want to, and I said, I'm taking separate planes because if I don't know, we can't control what is going to happen, and it is going to be what it is going to be. But it's but to have hospice there is such a comfort. And I don't remember growing up. I don't remember there being hospice care in the 70s and 80s. There probably was, but it wasn't part of.
Right. Aware of it.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it. And well, I didn't lose a family member until I lost my grandfather in 87, just 2 weeks after my older son was born. And that was pretty traumatic. And then my dad in 93. But that was a whole different thing. My grandfather just dropped from a heart attack taking the trash out. It was 84. My father died from prostate cancer because he refused to take care of it the normal way. He thought he could cure it homeopathically. Mm-hmm. He was a pharmacist in Beverly. Yeah, he was a pharmacist, and he should have known that he should have taken a different route. And this is a whole different conversation, but I have had a conversation with him since then. And he did say that he told me, he said, because I was a pharmacist and I saw what my male patients went through with prostate cancer and the medications they were on and everything and how horrible it was. He said, when I found out I had it, I was just not going to take care of it and not live that way.
This episode of This Crazy Life is also sponsored by Chaplain IT Consultants. Chaplain is trusted by financial firms, hospitals, and small businesses with over 30 years of experience, specializing in computer repair for PC and Mac, managed IT solutions, managed antivirus, servers, virtualization, networking, surveillance solutions, VoIP phone service, and digital signage. We are building a reputation for creating a positive return on investments for our clients. If you are serious about your business success, our team of professionals can get you there. Strategic thinking, personal attention, competitive prices, real-world results. Discover the Chaplain difference. Located at 249 North Main Street in Bishop, California, 760-872-2797, or on the web at www.jaspin.com.
So yeah, that was,
wow.
Yeah.
So circling back to the very beginning.
Yep.
When I was laughing, let's start with you. How does your daughter want to be disposed of?
Yeah.
I don't know quite how the process works with mushrooms.
Yeah, she wants
mushroom
to
field.
She wants to grow into mushrooms.
Yes, and then she's talking about the tree.
So she wants to be a fungus.
Fungus, correct.
Well, that way when she dies, she'll be a fungi.
So,
then you said.
And then I said about my choice, about wanting to
You're going to be donated.
I'm going to be donated.
And then
we are going to, we call science care.
Right.
And there's a number. All our kids have the number. They don't want to hear about it, right? But I said, I'm emailing you the number. Put it in a folder that says death or something. And then if we die together, which my husband wants, I said, but then what you're going to do is you're going to call them and they'll come get our bodies. And they'll take them to whatever university. If we die here, probably UNR, because they have a doctor and, is it not entomology? What is it? When they open the bodies, the first class, when the bodies, what's that class?
I don't remember.
Not entomology.
Forensics?
No, it's not forensics.
Anatomy?
Thank you very much. I said my menopause brain. Anatomy.
Okay.
So they do whatever they do, and they're going to look inside me and go, wow, she's run out of organs. No wonder she's not here. And then, then they cremate you a month later, and then they take the ashes and give them to the kids, and it's free.
Yes. So you were saying you're frugal even in death.
We are frugal even in death because it is free.
Because my life.
So because we looked into how much cremation is between $4,000 and $5,000.
Holy smokes!
It's gone
backyard.
It's gone up, and that's expensive. So we thought, well, okay, this will work for us, and so we're going to do that. So
play "Come On, Baby, Light My Fire"?
No, I'm going to play. I've got.
I'm sure you have music planned.
I totally have music planned. It's going to be cry music in the beginning, and then I think I have "Walking on Sunshine." That song, "Walking on Sunshine."
Yeah.
That song, and then I'm going to have a Carole King song, "Way Over Yonder," and then Eric Clapton's "Tears in Heaven." So we'll do the cry stuff, and then some happy fun stuff.
Good.
But you know what? I could die and nobody else will be around, or somebody will all of a sudden, my whole world of friends can all of a sudden not like me, and nobody will show up at the memorial. So
Jimmy, our director, is going to go out with "On the Highway to Hell."
Oh, you know what? That's a good one.
"Stairway to Heaven."
You can play.
Or are you going out?
That's a good one.
But it is a good point. No. What I wanted to say with Stacey is so many people wait to the very end to make a decision,
Right.
and so many people don't make any decisions, and so their parents die, for example. I
And
don't
there's
know.
no living trust. There's no
living trust,
will. There's
no
nothing.
will. They don't know what's going on. I
Plan.
didn't know. Did my mom want a funeral? Did she want a cremation? Did she want burial?
Yeah.
What? Oh my goodness, I don't know. And here they are grieving, and then all these things.
And then all the
And you-
siblings at that point can't
Yes.
settle. The bickering
Yes.
begins. The division starts.
Well, it's the business. Death is a business.
You're absolutely right. Now let's turn to some fun stuff. We've got like 3 minutes left.
Okay. You want to ask some of these? Well, I asked the last one.
Start first.
Okay.
And I'll,
Fun questions, so we get to know a little bit more. Which superpower would you like to have, and why?
Oh, don't answer. I know.
Why not?
I think it would be amazing to fly.
Okay.
Yeah, even though I'm afraid of heights, with the superpower would take the height fear away.
Right, because
Yes.
you're a superpower and you're not
Right.
afraid of anything.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. If you could be any animal, what would you be and why? Animal. You just got to
Animal, right. Well, when I was a child, the cheetah was always my favorite because I used to run, and the cheetah is the fastest land animal, and I love cheetahs, and I think they're beautiful creatures.
Yeah. What about you? What animal would you like to be? Because I know what I'd want to be. What do you want to be?
Well, can I be an insect?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to be a dragonfly.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. I'm going to be a humpback whale because I spend my winters in Maui, I spend my summers in Alaska, and I can have as much fat as I want and nobody cares. The more blubber, the better.
That's nice.
I've got that down.
All right, let's see here. What was the last book you read?
Well, I'm currently
Bible doesn't count.
The Bible doesn't count. I'm currently reading A Pilgrim's Progress, and I've read this before, and I just love this. During the Puritan period in England.
Okay.
Okay. And if you had a chance to sit next to God and ask God one question, what would it be?
Why, God, why?
That's your question. I want Patrick's question.
I don't have an answer. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. How would you sell me eggnog in the summer?
Well,
Come on. I got money in my pocket.
eggnog goes with whether you drink tea or coffee or hot chocolate. It is perfect with all those drinks. It's so good. And it's good
I
for
gave up eggnog when I gave up brandy, so
I didn't say it was alcoholic.
I'm telling you, the only way I liked eggnog was with brandy.
And we
You're not going to sell me eggnog.
there
buddy.
was an eggnog
right.
shortage this winter.
There was an egg. Oh, because of the egg problem.
I don't know why, but there
It is
was.
the egg issue.
There's always something.
$45
Toilet paper,
million chickens.
eggs, whatever. Do we have enough for one more question?
do it.
Okay. If you could speak to one type of animal, what kind of animal would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Feline.
A
Why?
feline.
Yeah.
Are you a Leo?
I have 3 cats.
Oh, okay.
What would you ask
shoot.
them? I'm curious. What would you ask the cat?
And as we just communicate, we'd have conversation. I don't know, but sometimes the cat just yells at
Catnip.
me, and I don't know what they want. I'm like,
Catnip.
do you want to be held? Do your catnip? What is your litter box not clean? What do you want?
Interesting.
It's kind of trying to figure out what newborns want.
Yeah.
It's because they're different cries. Yeah, you have several times,
You have?
but you've done it more than I have.
Yeah. I won't go there. Well, we are out of time.
Well, it's crazy how fast this time goes here.
It does.
Thank you, Patrick, for being on This Crazy Life. And I really appreciate, and I know Jason does, and all our viewers and listeners out there, what you do for the community here, because hospice is a really important part of life.
We're going to have Patrick back to talk about his acting.
Oh,
What he
acting?
does in the
What?
community. There is so much. We've just the tip of the
Scraped
iceberg.
it. We just scraped it
with
tonight. Okay.
Patrick. So thanks, Patrick, for coming in.
Thank you, Patrick.
I'm Jason Brown.
And I'm Stacey Powells, and this is,
This Crazy Life.
yes, what he said.